evening, everyone. Welcome to Vol Society Live on this Wednesday. My name is David Morrison. I am the Vol Society analyst right here on the Vol Society Network. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/UT Vol Society. We are closing in on 5,000 followers. Thank you very much to our Facebook page. Like I said, please tell everyone about Vol Society on Facebook. Let's try to get 5,000 by March Madness, folks. I'm going to say let's get 5,000 by March Madness. Also, our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe the YouTube channel. I think we're right at 100 subscribers or getting close to 100 subscribers. I think we can get that pretty soon. As you can tell, you're watching this video at 8 p.m. It's actually kind of peeked behind the curtain. It's almost 5 o'clock when I'm recording this. So I had a prior commitment come up. So I'm recording this in the past. So you can still leave comments in the chat. It's just I'm not going to be able to answer them. So I'm not ignoring you if you're going to put comments in. It's just I had to record this a little bit earlier in the day. But please continue to chime in your comments, and I will definitely check them out as soon as the program ends tonight. We got a lot to talk about. Busy week at the University of Tennessee this past weekend. We'll talk about the basketball team. End up kind of splitting some series over the weekend and earlier this week. Big hoops weekend for the men coming up on Saturday against Auburn and then Sunday against LSU. And I'll go ahead and announce this. Vol Society will be at the Lady Vols LSU game on Sunday afternoon. So there will be some content on our Facebook page, just kind of like we did for football. I'll post some stories on the Vol Society Facebook page, you know, wherever you view the stories. So a little kind of throughout the day. I wanted to do both Saturday and Sunday, but with the commitments come up, I couldn't do it. But definitely I will be up there on Sunday bringing content for the Tennessee Lady Vols LSU game, and we'll dive into that. Baseball had a huge weekend. We'll talk about them. Softball completed the St. Pete tournament, and we'll talk about another tournament that they are involved in. And we had a Tennessee coach lead the program. Cody Burns left the Tennessee football program and joined the New Orleans Saints. And there's a hot name on the boards that has Tennessee ties that could be coming to the University of Tennessee. We'll dive into that. So let's go ahead and dive into the show. Also, I should mention we'll talk about Danny White and how it ties with the SEC swimming and diving team and what he's already done. You probably saw that on Facebook. All right, now let's dive into the show. Tennessee had a huge win last night against Missouri, 80-61. Big game for Kennedy Chandler, 23 points last night. Just once again, just being an outstanding freshman on this Tennessee basketball team. Also seen some improvement from Brandon Utley-Hatfield as his minutes is drastically improving, primarily due to the injury with Akamwa being out for the year. But I'm really liking this team. Saturday, unfortunately, they did take the loss to Arkansas 58-48 at Bud Walton Arena. But that's a really tough place for Tennessee to really get a win at. I mean, more recent years we've been successful at Rupp Arena than Bud Walton. But we get Arkansas in the rematch, not this weekend, but the next weekend at Thompson Bowling Arena on March the 5th to wrap up the regular season. But like I said, Tennessee had a nice bounce-back win against Missouri last night, 80-61. So, like I said, they got their 20th regular season win on the year. Still in the top 4 in the SEC to get the double bye in the SEC tournament. So, yeah, I would love to get that win against Arkansas on the road, but we do get the rematch at home right before SEC tournament play. So, nothing really to sweat about. Like I said, this team is still doing pretty good for the most part. Like I said, I think the offense is still improving. The Arkansas game was just kind of frustrating and brought back some old habits, and hopefully can eliminate that like I said, throughout this season. Of course, we got a huge game coming up on Saturday against the third-ranked Auburn Tigers. Like I said, Auburn is playing tonight against Ole Miss, and this past Saturday they lost on the road at Florida. So obviously Auburn, at least taking on Ole Miss before they meet us. So they'll at least have maybe have a game underneath them and get that revenge win. But Jabari Smith is playing lights out right now for the Auburn Tigers, the freshman. In the last two SEC games, he's averaging 29 points a game. This is a dangerous player that we are going to face for 40 minutes, and we got to play our A game on Saturday. No doubt about it. This Auburn team in general, since Bruce Pearl has been there, has had Tennessee's number. As a matter of fact, like I said, I know the last couple of years have not been that well for Tennessee as far as playing the Tigers go. And I remember the last time, actually, I can't remember if we played Auburn since 2019 at home. I think we have. But I do remember the last big meeting at home between Tennessee and Auburn that in front of a full capacity crowd was that 2019 game right before the sports world shut down. And I was in attendance, and it was not a fun game to be at. But this is a different team from the last 2 or 3 years that this Auburn team has faced. So it should be a fun matchup. A 4:00 tip off on ESPN. I'm excited to see, can Tennessee get a huge win at home. Matter of fact, they are 15-0 at home this year. So undefeated home, winning streak going this year, and you got a top 3 program in Auburn. You're already upset number 4 Kentucky, or then number 4 Kentucky at home. This is a huge game. I know some fans have still some love for Bruce Pearl, including us at the Vol Society. But it don't matter if Bruce Pearl is coaching Auburn or Alabama or any other program. If it's not Tennessee, we want to get the win. So we shall see how it goes on Saturday. Like I said, a huge weekend of basketball in Knoxville. And Sunday, you got Tennessee Lady Vols taking on LSU. Matter of fact, they got 2 home games to wrap up their regular season before they head to Nashville for the SEC tournament, which is not next week, but the week after, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, they get Mississippi State tomorrow night, and then Sunday, a top 10 showdown with LSU. And Kim Malarkey has done an outstanding job her first year at LSU, getting them to a top 10 program. And like I said, Vol Society will be there Sunday covering the Tennessee LSU game. Like I said, this should be a very interesting last 2 games for the Lady Vols. No Jordan Horston, who's been our best player all year, tore her shoulder up. Obviously not going to be able to play these next 2 games. Who's going to step up for the Lady Vols? Can it be Ray Burrell? Can it be Tamara Key? Can it be one of the others? And that's where Tennessee has kind of struggled, is finding who's going to be the next person up, who's going to get that hot hand. I think Ray Burrell can be that potential person. I mean, our potential player. She's a senior. She played in some big games. She got hot last year for the Lady Vols. I would love for her to have a big game. I think Key can also have a big game. Just who's going to step up and fill those roles. And we, comparing to the men's team, when Akamwa went out, it seemed like the team played better, even though we would love to have Akamwa on in that rotation. But they were ready to take that next roll up, and let's continue to win. We would love to have Akamwa still playing for us, but everybody stepped up their game, and we're seeing Adu and Huntley Hatfield and Folky, going to a newer role. Can the Lady Vols adjust to that, not having Jordan Horston in their lineup? Matter of fact, even on the roster in general. So we shall see. Baseball team had a nice weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Swept Georgia State. Friday, they won 9-0. A 10-3 win. Saturday, Matter of fact, the baseball team was down 3-0 to Georgia Southern on Saturday, but then they just came firing back out and had a nice win on Saturday. And then Sunday, a 14-0 shutout win to sweep the weekend. They shattered all sorts of attendance records throughout the weekend. Friday, they set a opening day attendance record of 4,335. Now, there has been some renovations at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, and I'll touch on that in just a minute. But 4,335 fans on Friday. The previous record was like maybe 2,200, 2,300, which was set like 10 years ago. I mean, they just shattered it, doubled the fans. And keep in mind, this was 40-degree weather throughout the weekend. I mean, it's still pretty cold here in Tennessee in February, and the fans came out. Lindsey Nelson Legends was rowdy throughout the entire weekend, so awesome to see. Saturday's game was sold out, 4,651 fans. I think the capacity now is like 4,400 with the renovations. And then Sunday's game had 4,580. So over 12,000 fans showed up to Lindsey Nelson Stadium for the opening weekend of college baseball season. And like I said, this is college baseball, or Tennessee baseball in general, is the hottest ticket in town. I mean, obviously we're excited about the football team for next year. Basketball is still going to be a popular attraction for Tennessee athletics, but baseball is growing leaps and bounds, and I'm very happy to see that. And I mentioned this, I think, last week or in a recent episode of All Society Live. With Major League Baseball in the lockout right now, and spring training was supposed to start this Saturday, which is not going to happen now since they're still in the lockout, I would love to see college baseball become the forefront of, quote-unquote, America's pastime. I'm seeing, minor league baseball, it's not being affected by the lockout with Major League Baseball, even though there's tie-ins. And I expect to see minor league baseball to set attendance records too, especially if we don't have Major League Baseball. But I would like getting back to college baseball. I think college baseball is kind of a sleeping giant, and I wish there was some more coverage of college baseball. I will give, the ESPN apps or the Watch ESPN apps or ESPN Plus apps. They do have a ton of games. Matter of fact, I've read that they're going to broadcast 2,200 college baseball games. Most of them are on streaming devices, though, which that's the future of, sports television or sports viewing in general. But I would love to see if we don't have Major League Baseball this spring, put college baseball on those channels and really expose the sport to a broader audience. And, even like I said, in Knoxville, Tennessee, baseball is hot right now. They're selling tickets like hotcakes right now, and it's exciting to see. And I would love to see just the game of college baseball just really kind of get to that level of a college basketball or a college football. And, I would love, and the only way that you can do that is put these games on television. I mean, yeah, you have the internet and you do have social media and YouTube channels and stuff, but right now the box that's in your favorite viewing room is where the trend can go at this still moment. So we shall see. Tennessee did play a baseball game yesterday against Tennessee Tech, but it was suspended in the sixth inning due to rain, and the score was 5-4. Tennessee leading Tennessee Tech. Looks like the makeup date is going to be April the 12th. That's the next time Tennessee plays Tennessee Tech. As a matter of fact, they're going to play that at Smoky Stadium, the AA affiliate of the Chicago Cubs, the Tennessee Smokies, on April the 12th. So we'll see how that goes. But some key players that had big weekends for Tennessee baseball. Jarrell Ortega had a nice weekend. Christian Scott hit a couple home runs Friday. Trey Lipscomb looked really nice. And then Drew Gilbert hit another grand slam on Saturday that really ended the game against Georgia Southern. And that was kind of one of the weaknesses of the Tennessee baseball team, was kind of that infield. Losing Max Ferguson, losing Liam Spence, Evan Russell now going back behind the place where he played third base last year. But now we're seeing the emergence of Ortega and Lipscomb, and Seth Stevenson, who was, I think, DH in most of the weekend. Another big bat for Tennessee, and he can fly around the bases. So it seems like Tony Vitello really did a great job in developing these players and filling those holes. I mean, there was a lot of players that left that Tennessee baseball team that, either graduated or went on to the MLB draft. And like I said, it just, reloaded and go again. And I'm excited to see. I think this team can have a great season. Even the pitching looked really good. Not only losing Will Hetley and Big Cheese Chad Dallas, you threw in Chase Burns, a freshman, talented freshman, opening day. Chase Dolander, a transfer from Georgia Southern, played his old team on Saturday. Then some other guys throughout Sunday and then throughout this week. I think when we get an SEC play, when Blade Tidwell comes back, I expect to see Tidwell to probably start those Friday games and then have the two chases go Saturday and Sunday. You can do Burns Saturday or Dolander on Saturday and then whoever on Sunday. So, and matter of fact, Tennessee baseball is on right now against UNC Asheville. So, like I said, baseball team is red hot. All right. Congratulations to the 2022 SEC swimming and diving team. The Tennessee Volunteers, the Lady Vols, clinches their second SEC championship in 3 years. Exciting to see that. Like I said, also the SEC championship was in Knoxville over the weekend. So very nice that the Lady Vols get to win it in front of their home fans and in their home city. And this also kind of ties into Danny White. Danny White, and we posted this on our Facebook page Sunday. Since Danny White was named the athletic director, 13 months ago, he has already won 4 SEC championships. Now we're counting SEC championships as division championships, conference championships, whether regular season, and SEC tournament championships. So since Danny White's been there, the men's tennis team won the SEC championship. The SEC baseball team won the SEC Eastern Division championship. The SEC women's soccer team won the SEC Eastern Division championship and won the SEC tournament. And then also we just mentioned swimming. So I mean, 4 championships or 5 championships. I mean, I think I just counted 5 just now. So he may tie Dave Hart right now. The point I'm trying to make is, as I'm rambling on, Danny White has done a great job coming in where this athletic program was a year ago, where a lot of turmoil, a lot of backstabbing. We had the Pruitt situation and Philip Fulmer. Well, now everybody's gone. It's fresh and new, and you got a group. You got 3 cohesive figureheads at the University of Tennessee who wants to see it succeed. Randy Boyd, the UT president, Vice Chancellor Donnie Plowman, and now Dr. Danny White, athletic director. And all these programs has taken the next step up. And we've mentioned this several times. Football has stepped up. Basketball is still pretty consistent. Baseball definitely has stepped up. Tennis, volleyball made the NCAA tournament for the first time in a few years. And it just goes on and on and on. And exciting to see. And a successful first year for Danny White. And like I said, if everything comes together, if all the stars align, I mean, Danny White could go down as one of the greatest athletic directors in the University of Tennessee. Just exciting to see every program kind of stepping up. And we're seeing, people coming out, in droves to see Tennessee athletics. And granted, we've been not be able to see our favorite, Tennessee sports last couple of years. So this is kind of the first year with full capacity somewhat. With football getting back, getting some buzz. Basketball is still a top 10 highest attendance throughout the entire country. Baseball, I mean, we talked about the numbers over the weekends, and it's only going to get crazier. Speaking of baseball, if you're interested in getting Tennessee baseball tickets, the first 15 home games are on sale. Of course, there's already been 5 games played. But March the 1st, circle that day on your calendar. That's when the rest of the SEC baseball, or the rest of the Tennessee baseball tickets go on sale, and that's the SEC schedule. So you got Alabama coming into town, Auburn, Kentucky, Georgia, South Carolina. So March the 1st, I'm not sure the time, but that's when they're going to go on sale. And if you are interested in going to any of these SEC conference baseball games with Tennessee, go ahead and get them early, because I think they're going to go pretty quick. Like I said, I'm definitely will try to go up there myself. I know at least one I am interested in. So that's kind of look at baseball and stuff, and of course swimming and diving and how it ties in with Danny White and just the overall landscape of Tennessee athletics. All right, softball team, touched on them really quick. Kind of struggled down in St. Petersburg in the tournament. Only picked up a couple of wins over Notre Dame and UCF, but then they struggled with Florida State, which Florida State's a top 10 softball program, along with Washington. Matter of fact, Washington beat us in the 10-run rule, and then they ended up dropping a game in extra innings to Clemson. So Lady Vols right now, softball team is 6-3 on the year, and they're playing in another tournament out in California. Some of the participants include BYU, UC Davis, UC San Diego, Oregon State, and 2 big ones, number 6 UCLA and number 1 Oklahoma. So Lady Vols got their work cut out for them as they head on the West Coast to play in this tournament. Wish them all the best. Their first game is coming up, I believe, March, I read it just now. I think it was like March 7th, March 8th is the home opener for the Lady Vols softball team. And we'll wrap up with some football news. Cody Burns, our Tennessee wide receiver coach, has accepted a job at an NFL job for the New Orleans Saints. So wide receiver coach, a position coach, is now open at the University of Tennessee. And the hot name that's going around is Trooper Taylor. So Trooper Taylor, a very popular assistant coach when he was here at the University of Tennessee during the last tenure of the Philip Fulmer days. And now he is the current assistant head coach at Duke. I would love to see Trooper Taylor come back. I mean, just a charismatic coach. He gets players. He relates to them. And he's a seasoned coach. Like I said, he's been coaching since the early 2000s. And he's still got that fiery, energetic personality. And I think the players can feed off him. So I say bring Troop back to Rocky Top. I would love to see it if that does come into fruition. But this is still Josh Heupel's offense. As a matter of fact, you know, kind of reading some of the message boards with Cody Burns leaving, while it does kind of stink that, you know, I wish he would have stuck around for another year. But really, Josh Heupel runs the offense, and Alex Gross runs it, mainly Heupel for the most part. So losing a wide receiver coach is not the end of the world, and we're going to drop in production. Like I said, those position coaches, I don't want to say are easy to fill, but it's, you know, kind of a little bit down the list compared to trying to find a head coach or a coordinator position. So we shall see what happens and who Josh Heupel has in mind to replace Cody Burns at the University of Tennessee as far as wide receiver coach. Some updates as far as where the spring game goes or is going to take place. Obviously, right now you got renovations going on at Neyland Stadium, so it doesn't look like you're going to have the orange and white game at Neyland Stadium in Austin. As a matter of fact, there's like a 0% chance of that happening. There was rumors that they may be playing at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, but now what I've been hearing is it doesn't look like Nashville is going to be a host site for the orange and white game. So now Chattanooga has become the forefront. So at Max Finley Stadium, where the Chattanooga Mocs play, should be interesting to see if UTC will be willing to open its stadium up for the Tennessee Volunteers obviously will bring attraction to that town, especially to the campus and the stadium. But you usually don't see, a D1 program borrowing somebody else's stadium for a spring game. As a matter of fact, you even try to play a spring game. I mean, obviously they're important for practice reasons, but, you don't really show much in a spring game. You don't reveal your whole deck of cards, or your hand of cards to be exact. So we shall see what goes on. Matter of fact, we'll probably here in the month of March, which will be next week, we'll start breaking down some of the 2022 Tennessee football players as far as positions. And, of course, we know some of the big names coming back, Hendon Hooker, Cedric Tillman, Jabari Small coming back. But we'll kind of break down who to watch out for in the month of March, maybe kind of every episode, just kind of just maybe go by positions or a couple of position groups and just see who might emerge for the football program this year. All right, that's going to kind of wrap it up. Once again, thank you for joining us, even though I'm recording in the past, but that's all right. Next week, I definitely will be live at 8 o'clock. Just stuff going on right now. Couldn't join y'all live tonight. But I hope y'all still continue to tune in. Hopefully you enjoy the new updated logos on our Facebook page, profile pictures and stuff, as we continue to grow leaps and bounds with Vol Society. And like I said, don't forget, facebook.com/UT Vol Society. Also on YouTube. Just search for Vol Society and you'll pull it right up. So that's going to wrap it up on this Wednesday night. Like I said, Vol Society will be in Knoxville Sunday afternoon for the Tennessee LSU game. We'll bring you content of that, and anything else news-wise, we will bring it out to you. Until then, this has been David Morrison for Vol Society Live. Have a great night, and go Vols.